I'm going to show you how to make some really simple artist trading cards or truth cards, whatever you want to call them. They're 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and here's what we need. These are watercolor cards, and for today's project I'm going to use a white crayon, acrylic ink, a water spray bottle, acrylic paint, a stencil, a sponge, a scraper, and then some words. These are sticker words, but you could cut words out of books and put them in. You decide how you want to put your words on it. But this is how we're going to get started. On the first card, we're going to doodle in white crayon. I can't quite see what we're drawing here. I'm just going to have to assume that it's going to be fantastic. And then onto that, I'm going to take my acrylic ink. Acrylic ink is super concentrated pigment with very little liquid here, so a little bit goes a long way. Super concentrated. I use the tip like a pen. I'm barely squeezing the dropper out. Normally blue and red would make some brown, but I know that these particular colors, marine blue and flame orange, just look lovely together. So I'm going to go ahead and use them together. And then into that I'm going to spritz some water. And this is where the magic happens. You can see the white crayon acting as a resist behind. When everything is almost dry, I'm going to take a paper towel and just blot up the rest of the liquid. And then that leaves a little bit of texture on there as well. It's kind of nice looking. And then I'm going to add some stenciling. So for that I'm using acrylic paint, and I'm going to put a little bit of it on a palette. And when I use a sponge with acrylic paint, you always want the least amount on the sponge as possible. So I'm going to tap a little bit onto the sponge, and then I'm going to pounce most of it off. And then I'm going to come right over top. This scraping tool to add some straight lines, or maybe a little scrape of paint. The plain blue, and come around the edge of this just to give it a little bit of a blue frame. My last step is to sometimes come in with a black line after everything is dry. I'm using an Identa pen, but you could use a Sharpie or a paint marker. And I just like to add another layer over top of things. So sometimes I will outline some of the designs that I have on there. Sometimes I'll come around the words